Hey everyone, I did not plan to do a YouTube video today, but I feel so called to share some messages that I received today in my meditation from my spiritual guides. And it feels so much connected to the current astrology, especially the first Mars square to Neptune. So Mars is currently in Gemini and will stay in Gemini until March because of its retrograde period. And I did a whole video with Martha Hines about the transits of this autumn, and there we talk in depth about Mars and Gemini. But just that you know, so Mars is at the moment direct in Gemini. Mars will station in retrograde on October 13th, and then Mars will station direct on January 12th, and then Mars will, I think, finally leave Gemini at the end of March. And then during this period, that Mars is in Gemini, it will build a square, a 90-degree aspect to Neptune. Neptune is currently in Pisces. So, and the first Mars-Neptune square is, when I record this video today, is October 11th. And in European time zones, it's on the 12th. I'm not sure if there is a switch to the US time zone, but the Mars-Neptune square is currently there. And it's on 23 degrees 21 minutes Gemini and Pisces. Neptune is in Pisces, Mars is in Gemini. And the second square will take place on November 19th. And then the last square, and at that time in November, Mars is retrograde, and then the last square is on March 15th, and then Mars is direct again. So additionally to this Mars square Neptune, the message that I received is very much connected to Venus Cazimi, which takes place on October 22nd, in a square to Pluto and to the upcoming eclipse season. So what did they tell me? The quintessence is that we have willpower and we have power, and we have much power. So we can actually do many things, and we have control over many things. We can create, or I say it from my personal point of view, because maybe you feel it differently. So I have power. I can create, I can put things out into the world. I can, do things. It's a very young power, Mars. I can have plans, I can have visions, I can have missions, I can do things and put them out into the world. But then I don't have control. I don't have control how the things that I created will be perceived. I have no control how the world will react unto the things that I'm putting out. I have no control how people will react and answer to the impulses that I'm sending out. And my guides told me that, yes, it's good and it's okay. And I can send out impulses. I can send out impulses with the best intention. So it's very important to get really clear about our intentions at the moment. So because with Mars and Gemini, there are so many possibilities, what we can do, what we can create, what we can put our channel, our willpower, our energy into. So it's really key with Mars and Gemini to get clear and grounded. What are our intentions? What is our truth? What it is all about? So the opposite sign to Mars is Sagittarius. In Sagittarius, we ask, what is the meaning of all our doing, of all our running, of all our actions that we do with Mars in Gemini, with all our thinking, with all our fixed thinking, mental plans and ideas? What is the meaning? And so we can set out impulses into the world. We can have good intentions. We can have truthful intentions that are really true to ourselves, that are in alignment with our truth. But we just can set out these impulses, and then we have to let go and give up control and stop micromanaging life. And that is so fucking hard for our human self, because we are so scared, because we have this fixed ideas how the things shall work out and how it would be the best plan and what our desires are. And with Mars in Gemini, we have very ideas how the things shall work when we put all our willpower into them. But my guide said, stop to try to control the outcome. And here comes Neptune. So you see, it's really, the cosmos always mirrors what is the overarching learning curve or evolutionary curriculum for us on an individual and a collective level. So here comes Neptune and says, honey, there's a bigger truth. And your cute little Gemini brain, your logical thinking, your mind cannot grasp this bigger truth. And even your Sagittarius intuition cannot grasp truth with a capital T. And there comes fear. Our human self is afraid. Our human self, Verena, I'm afraid how the things will work out. I put so much effort into, at the moment, creating a new astrology course in German language. I have no idea how it will be received. I have no idea if people like it or not. And I cannot control that. I can just set out the impulse with the best intentions, do the yang energy, and then I have to do the yin energy. Then I have to let go, release, relax, and receive. And I think this Mars square to Neptune is really about bringing your willpower in alignment with a higher will. And you don't know, as the human that you are, yes, you are an infinite soul, but in the moment you incarnate in a human body, you have limited capacities. And that's fucking frustrating. And that's scary too. Because we want to control, because control means that we know what waits for us, and that means security. In the moment we cannot control, we don't know what waits for us, and that means insecurity, and that means danger, and that means the fear of death. So in this moment, when we go into the yin energy, when we say, okay, I put it out, and now I have to let go of control. I have to stop micromanaging. I cannot control other people. I cannot control the world. It feels very Neptunian. And what do I mean with it feels Neptunian or Piscean? On the one hand, it feels overwhelming. It feels like the lack of our willpower. It feels like the lack of control. It feels like the lack of ourself. It really feels like losing ourself, losing our mind, losing our brain power, Mars in Gemini, losing everything. and it feels overwhelming, and it feels like that higher forces overpower us and that we cannot do anything. It's the feeling that you have when you step into the ocean and there comes this big waves and you are smashed with the waves and you feel, okay, there are forces that are higher, stronger than me. And I just did a bike ride and I saw the sun, the beautiful evening sun. And I understood that there is a light that is bigger than the sun. I can see this little sun, but there's a light that is source, that is even bigger, where the sun is just sourced by source and is just a reflection of source that is, and the light that is in me and in you and in everybody, in every soul, in everything and all that is the light. And the sun is just a little tiny reflection of that. And even the sun has a limited capacity. And so on the one hand, it is really, really frustrating to understand that we don't have, that our willpower, that we have power, we have strength, we are powerful beings, but that our power is limited. And on the other hand, it's a relief. It's a huge relief because you don't have to control everything. You cannot, and you don't need to. It's a relief. You did your best. You had the best intentions. You did your part. Now let go, surrender, and trust. And that's a relief, actually, because you cannot do anything than having the best intentions, setting impulses, and then trust that it is all working out in a way that is best for us. And when I mean in a Neptunian way, what is best for us, or what is best for me, or what is best for you, that does not mean that our human self understands, or that it is in alignment with the things that our human self wants to happen. So it can be that the completely opposite thing, that completely different things than we think, Mars and Gemini, we think that things have to play out. It can be that completely opposite happens. And it can be that we feel frustrated, scared, angry, sad, full of grief, and that's good, that's okay. We can give our human self this space. We can hold space for ourselves, for our human emotions that maybe come up from our past too, that are triggered. The panic, the trauma, the fear that we cannot survive, the fear that we are rejected, the fear that we don't deserve, that our dreams come true. All of these unworthiness and all of this lack and feelings of powerlessness can come to the surface, triggered by just a little thing. But one part of us, one part of me, one part of you knows that there is a truth that we cannot understand, and that sometimes we cannot understand why things, quote unquote, don't work out. But we can just trust that no matter what happens, it serves our soul's evolution, and that we maybe must have certain experiences, even though they don't feel comfortable for our human self, in order to grow and to evolve. And that is something that is so hard, but it is true. And I know that it is true. And maybe you feel too, or it's not that I know that it is true, I feel that it is true. And I can imagine that if you're watching this video and you are maybe, connected to astrology or even evolutionary astrology, where this is a very core belief, I would say, you can maybe feel this too. And I think at the moment with the eclipse season, it's all about sitting in the dark of the eclipse. So we have the sun is darkened, the moon is darkened through eclipse seasons. So we have this feeling of, okay, I cannot see where my way is going. I cannot control, it feels scary. We have Venus in a conjunction to the sun. She's behind the sun. So this is in the Inanna myth, the moment when Inanna, Venus, really surrenders everything that is no longer true to herself, and she dies. And she resurrects to reclaim her true power, her true essence, her truth. And so we have to let go of everything. We have to surrender and trust. We have to surrender and trust that everything what will happen to a higher good and to our soul's evolution. And all we can do now is set one step after another. I feel there is certain Virgo energy. It's interesting. Virgo in the natural zodiac builds a square to Gemini, Mars, and the opposition to Neptune. Okay, here we go. To really set one step after another with a certain priestess or priester energy, and really just check in with our intentions, really just do and create and channel our energy into things that are in alignment with our truth and our heart and what we feel called to do, and our deepest intentions. And that is everything we can do. And then we are allowed to trust, surrender, release, let go, lean back into the loving arms of the universe, lay down onto the ground of Mother Planet Earth, the wisdom, the deep, deep old wisdom of Mother Earth. Trust in our higher guidance, a wisdom that is higher than our human self can think in this incarnation, and connect with our higher self, connect with our soul, connect with our spiritual guidance that have an overview, that have a bigger view. So when I open my Akashic records, or when I open Akashic records for clients, or when we look at our astrology charts or into the heavens, it's all about gaining a higher perspective. So having a larger view. And please, please, please be aware that the situation and that you are now, it's just a phase and a moment on your ongoing journey, on your ongoing soul's evolution. And it's not about this, what I mean by that is not that this too shall pass. Yes, that's right. But I think it's very important to see the bigger perspective, that even though you maybe don't understand now, and you maybe even feel scared, and it's not good what happens from a human perspective, it's just a step that brings you, these experiences bring you to the next experiences. So Sagittarius, we are always on the journey to gain more wisdom, to gain more experiences, to become wiser, and to really feel more and more what is our truth and our mission and our calling. And that develops too. So our truth changes, our path changes. And sometimes it is about that our human self still holds on to things that have been in alignment in our past, but that maybe the cosmos knows that we are now outgrown of them, that we are now ready for the next thing. And so when we then think, we know that was our truth, and now we stick on that and try to make things true and try to make things work that are in alignment with these older versions of our truth, and they don't work out, we feel kind of overwhelmed and kind of frustrated. But maybe there's another new truth waiting on us, and we actually don't know yet what is really in alignment and what is waiting for us. So I think I will stop here. Let me see if anything else wants to come through. I think I really want to give you this idea of, if you feel powerlessness, and if you feel overwhelmed, and if you feel frustrated, and if you feel angry, hold the space for all of these human feelings, but try to take on the perspective that you don't have to control, and that means that you can give yourself into a divine higher power, that you can put yourself on the altar, that you can let go, release, stop micromanaging, relieve, relax, receive, and that whatever will come to you, that it is in the best will for your soul's evolution. And yeah, it's really Mars versus Neptune. It's really, and I want to show you that it is not so much about Mars versus Neptune, but about Mars with Neptune, so that we more and more feel into what I'm supposed to do, what I'm supposed to channel my energy into, what I'm supposed to create, and more letting go in the creation process, letting go of our mental fixed ideas, of our thoughts, of our plans, and more let go in the doing, let go in the doing. But I mean, we have two upcoming squares, so we have the first square now, we have two squares, and I think we can practice to surrender, to let go, to bring our will into alignment with the higher will, to trust. And eclipse season will bring this to the release of old energies, and deep healing, deep purging. And this comes often with an ego death, or with the death of ideas or certain self-images that we have, and certain plans that we have, and certain ideas how we think we have to behave. Yeah, and if you want to, I did a whole video for the EA Zoom channel, but you find it here on my YouTube channel too, with Martha Heinz, about the upcoming eclipse season, where we go really into the depth of eclipse season. And Martha and me will also hold a special eclipse gathering, where we hold space for you, for all what is coming up during this eclipse season. And we will talk a little bit about the eclipse energy and do a channeled experience with you, so a meditation journey where you can really feel held and safe within these times of change. And this eclipse gathering that I and Martha will give together is on November 7th. And yeah, now I say, I would love to hear what you think about this video, to hear what you think about this idea of you can just give impulses, but then you must let go of control, and how you experience this Mars square to Neptune. What's coming up for you at the moment? And yeah, please let me, write your, give me your feedback in the comments. And I would love if you could like my video and maybe share it with friends if it feels resonating and if it feels relevant for you. And you can for sure follow my channel. And yeah, if you speak German, I just released my Astro Basics course. That is a video course where you learn the basic knowledge of astrology. So it's perfect for you if you want to start to learn astrology and dig a little bit deeper into this and understand what is Mars, what is a square, all of these things. So my Astro Basics course is perfect for you if you just want to start to learn astrology in German language. And then I will start my bigger program, the Living Astrology Intense program, that is also in German language, and that will start in January if Neptune and Mars wants me to do that. And this is really for you if you have already a little bit of basic knowledge and want to really deepen and feel and live astrology and embody astrology. So you can find the links in the description of this video, and you find also the link to the eclipse gathering that I hold with Martha in November in the description. And on my channel you find the two videos, one the transit and energy transmissions about Mars, October, November transits, and the other one about the eclipses. Take care, and I send you so much love.